Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Outside the Ropes. I'm your host of Outside the Ropes, as always, Matthew Moore. Welcome back to another edition of Outside the Ropes. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who tuned in to our WWE Battleground preview show this past Sunday. We have phenomenal amounts of listens on our Facebook and our YouTube account. Now, we didn't have our show on iTunes this past Sunday. But we hopefully will put that show on iTunes in the next few days. But big thank you to everybody who tuned in this past Sunday to listen to our WWE Battleground preview show. Guys, what a last few days of professional wrestling has been. It's been absolutely unbelievable. It's been so busy since the pay-per-view this past Sunday night, WWE Battleground. Now, on tonight's show of Outside the Ropes, we have a few topics that we're going to talk about. We've got some, obviously, stories coming out of Battleground this past Sunday night. We're going to talk about that pay-per-view. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, which was a chaotic episode. We're also going to be talking more news on Sting. We've got some more news on Kevin Owens, some news on Stardust, Global Force Wrestling news, and also much, much more, including... Is Mick Foley in hot water with WWE? We've got a story that came out in the news today about that, and much, much more on this week's edition of Outside the Ropes. Now, before we go into any more of our discussion, we're just going to give a wee shout out to our friends and partners of this podcast. If you are historians of professional wrestling and you like to go back and check out all your old archive stories, like myself, and even if you're new to wrestling and you want to go back and check out all the history of professional wrestling, Wrestling's Past is the location. Go to their website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and on Twitter at Wrestling'sPast for all your history of professional wrestling. Now, let's get straight into the news coming out of Battleground this past Sunday. Unbelievable pay-per-view, guys. Well enjoyed. We asked you to send some of your pictures of where you were watching Battleground. Only a few of you did that by email. Some of you actually emailed some of your pictures, so thank you very much for that. I did promise you I would put up a photograph on my Twitter from where I was watching Battleground, but unfortunately I actually forgot to do it, so I do apologise for that. But thank you for all the pictures that you did send to us. Some interesting ones. We had ones from we have a look here and see Colorado. We had ones from Scotland. We had ones from France, that's right. We had an email from France. We had one from Houston, and we've also had one from, let's have a look here and see, just checking through the emails here. Boston. I had one from Boston as well. So just to name a few, and our Twitter decides to go off there as we're recording the podcast. It's another tweet. But yeah, thanks very much for all your pictures you sent to us this past Sunday during Battleground. Now, let's get on to the pay-per-view. Let's review the pay-per-view itself. The pre-show, which... this match was just silly in my eyes. King Barrett defeated R-Truth in a singles match for the King of the Ring crown, which was no surprise. King Barrett squashed him in that match. Opening contest on the pay-per-view saw Randy Orton defeat Sheamus in a pretty decent match. The Primetime Players retained their tag team titles against the New Day, which I was happy to see. No interference by Mark Henry, which we were sort of debating on last Sunday's pre-show that Mark Henry was going to get involved, but he didn't. We had a bit of a reunion in the next match. We had Bray Wyatt defeating Roman Reigns as Luke Harper reunited with Bray Wyatt. As we all know, Eric Rowan is out injured at the moment, but Roman Reigns surprised attack as Rollins was under the ring and attacked obviously Roman Reigns and gave Bray Wyatt the victory. It was a very good back and forward match. Those two always put on a good match, even in the days of the Shield versus the Wyatt family. Now we've got more on that story coming up very, very soon, because this feud is going to continue on spill into SummerSlam, where we may have a special appearance in this match at SummerSlam, but we'll talk about that shortly. We had a great Divas contest on the show. We had a triple threat match where we had Charlotte, accompanied to the ring by Paige and Becky Lynch, of course, defeated Brie Bella and Sasha Banks in a great triple threat match, should we say, this past Sunday at Battleground. Great match as well. The Divas are really putting their name out there now, with these new girls being brought up from NXT, and really starting to enjoy the Divas matches on WWE television. Aye, the match of the night for me had to be the next one. John Cena defeating Kevin Owens. I was really, really disappointed in this, guys, for a reason was that we all thought, and I wasn't the only one who thought this myself, that Kevin Owens should have beaten John Cena this past Sunday. But again, Super Cena comes out on top by defeating Kevin Owens by submission, which was very surprising to see. But John Cena comes out on top, the rubber match in their feud, and is still the United States champion. Kevin Owens put on a great performance again, guys. No doubt about it. It was a phenomenal match. The three matches I've enjoyed thoroughly. John Cena has really upped his game by competing against other talent like the likes of Kevin Owens and other talent who are coming up the ladder in WWE at the moment. So John Cena is still your United States champion. I wish they would hurt him take the title off him, but I don't know whether that's going to happen or not very, very soon. And of course, the main event, guys, oh my good God. We heard the rumours, now we did announce this on Sunday's pre-show, that we heard rumours that a certain person could be there tonight and may interfere in the main event. Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight title. Pretty much, we called it. Brock Lesnar basically whipped Rollins' ass, took him to Suplex City, 13 German suplexes, hit him with an F5, ready to pin him, and the lights go out. The dong hits, the lights come back on, and we have the reappearance. The last time we saw him was WrestleMania. The Undertaker. The Undertaker appeared at Battleground, as we did discuss. He appeared and he basically annihilated Brock Lesnar by tombstoning him twice and giving him a chokeslam, costing Brock Lesnar the WWE World Heavyweight title. The crowd was electric. It was unreal. It was a moment. We tweeted out pictures from ringside as soon as this happened. Our Twitter went crazy. Everybody else's Twitter went mad. The social media world went crazy as The Undertaker returned this past Sunday at Battleground. Now this was not the end of it. We'll move on to Monday Night Raw from this past Monday night, where we had The Undertaker kicking off Raw and pretty much put it across in his promo that he has not forgotten what Brock Lesnar done to him at WrestleMania 30 by defeating The Undertaker's undefeated streak. Now, there's an interesting story throughout the night of Raw where we had Stephanie McMahon and Triple H calling the troops in, as in the WWE superstars, and obviously all the security that they had on site, saying that they had to keep Undertaker and Lesnar apart, because it was just announced on the show beforehand that at SummerSlam it's going to be The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Now, security was on hold, the wrestlers were on notice. Triple H was on the phone to Paul Heyman, telling Heyman to keep Lesnar away from the arena. Next minute we see Heyman down the corridor. Heyman asked for permission to go out and give Brock's response to this. Heyman gets into the ring, cuts his promo, and then turns nasty on The Undertaker. Next minute, bong, the lights go out again. Taker appears in the ring, ready to whip Heyman's ass, which a lot of fans would like to see. And out of nowhere comes Brock Lesnar. Hits the ring at 100 miles an hour. And the funny thing about it was, guys, when he was running down the aisle, you hear all the commentators going, I'm out of here, I'm gone. It was really good. The brawl broke out in the ring. We had security hit the ring. We had wrestlers hitting the ring. We tried to separate the whole fight. It spilled everywhere. It was pretty much like Lesnar and Cena done a few years ago, where they were trying to jump over the wrestlers to get to each other. The crowd was going nuts. We had Triple H out there. We had everybody going crazy. The brawl was going mad. Our social media feeds were going crazy with tweets from everybody. They finally got them separated, and then went to a commercial break. And then after the commercial break, they ended up brawling backstage, which was even better. Entertaining as hell. The crowd was going nuts in the arena. The fans at home were going bonkers. We were enjoying the show here as well. Great to see a big brawl where it ended up where Brock Lesnar was taken away by police, and it was separated eventually. So this Undertaker and Brock Lesnar match is shaping up to be a good one at SummerSlam in a few weeks' time. Now, a lot of people are talking about this on dirt sheets, social media, saying this fight isn't going to be as good as what it's going to be billed. Has The Undertaker still got it anymore? He hasn't really been in the ring much since WrestleMania 30. Is he as good as what he was? People are saying that he's overweight. He's not looking in great shape. He's not looking good. He is looking good. Guys, if The Undertaker was not physically able to climb into the ring, WWE wouldn't let him get in the ring. Whenever a WWE superstar is to get into a match, they have to do all the necessary checks, like an impact test and, all their different health checks. And if WWE were taking a risk with Undertaker, I don't think they would even do it. Even though he's a legend of the business, he's a leader of the locker room, he's been there, 25 years now, they still wouldn't take a chance. Undertaker is cleared to wrestle, and to be honest with you guys, I think it's going to be a good match. Who do I think is going to win the match? I don't know. I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar because he is the young gun and he is the man to beat. So I'm going to go with Brock Lesnar on this one. But overall, guys, so far so good. I'm enjoying this feud leading into Raw, or from Battleground into Raw. So I'm looking forward over the next few weeks to see what WWE do with this storyline between The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. Don't forget the pay-per-view is available on WWE Network and also on pay-per-view. So I'll be watching that on the network, of course. We had a couple of emails in from you guys about this here, just basically what we were saying there, saying, Undertaker's not good enough anymore, Brock Lesnar's going to basically beat his ass, and in closing this subject with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, I think it's going to be a great match. I'm hoping it's a great match because I don't want it to be a letdown, but I'm looking forward to watching it at SummerSlam. Anyway, other events on Raw this week. The main event was quite interesting, wasn't it? It was really interesting. We had Kevin Owens, Sheamus, and Rusev against Super Cena, Randy Orton, and Cesaro. Interesting. The finish to the match was awesome, where Kevin Owens and Sheamus walked out on Rusev, and it basically ended up being 3-on-1. The finish to the match was awesome. Cena hit him with the fireman's carry. I can't call it the attitude adjustment. Called the FU. Into the Cesaro swing, and then launched up into the air to an RKO right on Randy Orton. Great match. But the only thing that pisses me off about Raw this week is it looks like we're going to be having a title match at SummerSlam, which I am dreading to see. And if this person drops the title to this guy, I think I will scream and I will unsubscribe to the WWE Network. you say he's going to unsubscribe? No, I'm only kidding. It looks like, guys, and what we hear as well, after Monday night, we had Seth Rollins in the ring cutting a promo about his match, but it's still the champion. And now we hear that, because what happened in the promo, Super Cena come out to put him in his place, should we say, that we hear at SummerSlam it's going to be Super Cena versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight title. If Cena wins the title at SummerSlam and they squash Rollins, I think I will cry. Cena's got a title. He doesn't need another title. I don't know. Let's hear your thoughts on it, guys. Should Cena become champion at SummerSlam for the 16th time and match the record of Ric Flair? I don't know. But it looks like it's going to happen. But anyway, in closing Raw, I think Raw was a good solid show as well. Thoroughly enjoyed. And I'm looking forward to next week's Raw. So there you go. I know we were talking about Undertaker and Brock Lesnar there a second ago, but there's some other news is coming out. WWE are doing a tour of Mexico on the 16th to the 18th of October. And for what we hear, The Undertaker is being advertised for that event, that tour. Now, we know that The Undertaker appears very rarely, mostly just WrestleMania. And a lot of these were saying there about Undertaker not being fit and able. But why is he being advertised for an event in Mexico? Only time will tell. But he is advertised for that event coming up on the 16th to the 18th of October. So there you go. Interesting. Now, we did talk about earlier on there, we did say we'll come back to this subject regarding the Wyatt family. Now, we all know that Big Rowan's injured at the moment. We all know that Luke Harper joined forces with Bray again by screwing Roman Reigns at Battleground. We know in Raw there was a bit of a brawl where Dean Ambrose got involved, where he was in Reigns' corner against Harper. But we hear obviously with Rollins being out, there's supposed to be in plans by WWE a 6-man tag team match. Now, obviously, the big red-haired beard man, I like to call him, Big Rowan, is injured. They're apparently going to be throwing somebody else in to join the Wyatts, and for to be Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose's partner, it's going to be no one else other than Sting. That's right. We did say that Sting could be appearing at SummerSlam, but we hear that Sting will be appearing on Raw in the next few weeks to join into this and make it into a 6-man tag team match. This is going to be very interesting, guys. A lot of you Sting fans out there have been itching to know when Sting is coming back. But for what we've been told, and our sources have confirmed to us, that Sting could be appearing in WWE very, very soon, before SummerSlam and also at SummerSlam. So, Sting and The Undertaker on the same card? Could we even have a face-to-face standoff on the same night, leading towards a match for WrestleMania next year? Who only knows? We also hear that Vince McMahon doesn't want to have this match next year, but we'll talk about that another time. But apparently Sting is going to be involved in a 6-man tag team match at SummerSlam this year, so that's interesting news coming out there. We've got some Kevin Owens news for you guys. Kevin Owens, after his defeat at Battleground, is apparently, for what we hear behind the scenes now, is being moved down the card towards a mid-card stroke under sort of like a level between the mid-card and the higher level card. There you go. But here Kevin Owens now, after his defeat, that he's being moved down the card compared to where he was, which was up at the top of the card with the likes of John Cena and stuff like that. But disappointing really, because Kevin Owens is a great talent. I think he should be up at the top, but with WWE, they're saying what we hear, that they're saying that Owens isn't on the same level of the Rollins and the Cena and the Ortons and stuff. So I don't know, but that's what we hear. Kevin Owens is being moved in the card, and we'll be doing lower card matches very, very soon. Some news that came out today before I come on the air here, guys, for you was Mick Foley. Now, I personally have only watched one episode of this, but I don't know how you've been watching Tough Enough. Mick Foley took to social media last night regarding Tough Enough and made some comments about the recent elimination and said he will no longer be tuning into the episode or to the actual program. And apparently WWE are not happy with Mick Foley's recent Tough Enough comments. So is Mick Foley going to be in hot water? Interesting to see. We've read through some of his tweets today and some of his messages, and for what we hear, Mick Foley is indeed in hot water with WWE. Now, we heard Foley could have been appearing back on television very, very soon, leading towards the end of the year or even towards WrestleMania next year. But if he's in hot water with the company, well, it's going to be difficult for Mick Foley. But we hear he is in hot water after the comments that he made regarding the latest Tough Enough elimination this past Tuesday night, which was last night. But I haven't been watching Tough Enough. I must actually go on to the YouTube channel of WWE and watch the episodes, because they do put full episodes on WWE's YouTube channel. Let us hear your thoughts on Tough Enough. What do you guys think of Tough Enough so far? Send us an email, send us a tweet, Facebook message, or a message on our website, outsidetheropesradio.com. That's it, Tough Enough. Cody Rhodes news. Now, I know you all know that Cody Rhodes lost his father recently, Dusty Rhodes, and he came back on the television 2 weeks ago with the Stardust gimmick. He actually went to his wife's personal blog and wrote out a nice piece about why he kept the Stardust gimmick and didn't continue with Cody Rhodes. He basically goes on to say about where he found his father's mobile phone, to obviously find numbers and stuff like that about for his funeral and stuff like that. And when he went on to his lock screen on his phone, he found basically a wallpaper on his phone which was Stardust. And basically he always remembers his dad saying to him before he passed away, always finish what you started, kid. Along the lines of that story, guys, if you want to go on to his wife's blog, which you can find on the internet, or you can go through Cody's Twitter or his wife's Twitter, you can find a link to it, where he puts up the blog about why he kept the Stardust gimmick instead of continuing on his Cody Rhodes. Plus he's doing all these feuds as well with celebrities and stuff so as well. So it's a very interesting read, guys, so don't forget to check out that there. If you can't find the website address, go on to Cody or his wife's Twitter account. You can find the link to the blog on there. Good news for UK fans coming up. Global Force Wrestling have announced a tour coming up this October. They're going to be hitting the UK. They've only announced 2 dates so far. We did have the dates there, but we've actually lost them on our run sheet. But they're available on Global Force Wrestling's website. They're due to plan more dates in the UK as well. So if you're planning to get tickets to see Global Force Wrestling, where you'll see Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett appear as well, go to their website, Global Force Wrestling, and you can check out all the tour dates for the UK this coming October. Now, speaking of local events, I want to give a wee couple of shout outs to our local independent companies here in Ireland. There's a big event coming up this coming Sunday at the Devonish Complex, 33 to 37 Finicky Road, North Belfast, for PW Origin Wrestling, I think it's called, which will be this coming Sunday. I think there's still tickets available for this. Doors open at 5 p.m. For this event. You want to go to their website for all information, prowrestlingulster.co.uk. Big event coming up this coming Sunday, which we're looking forward to seeing. I want to give a wee shout out to PW as they have got a big show coming up this weekend. Guys, WWE Network, we've had a couple of emails in from people asking us about WWE Network, about all the new shows come up. We're talking about it on last week's podcast. WWE Network have got some great shows on there now. I had an interesting email today from a young lady by the name of Susan, personally tweeting me privately on Twitter and also emailing the show, asking me for my opinion on the WWE programs that they're putting on the network now, apart from the wrestling shows, the like of Renee Young's show, Corey Graves' Culture Shock, Swerved, all those different programs. What I think of that, I think it's great, because it's a different look to the network compared to just watching basic wrestling. It's good to see different programs. I personally enjoy Swerve. I think Swerve is a great program. It's very funny. It's entertaining. All the pranks that they pull on each other. I think it's a great show. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, thank you very much for your email. It's great. So there you go. Before we hit the road, guys, just want to give one more final shout out to our friends and partners of this show, Wrestling's Past. If you're historians of wrestling like me, or you're new to wrestling and you want to go and check out the history of professional wrestling, Wrestling's Past is the location. Don't forget to check out their website, wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk, and on Twitter at Wrestling's Past. Their daily tweets for on this day, news and old photographs and stuff like that is absolutely phenomenal. So it's at Wrestling's Past on Twitter and wrestlingspast.blogspot.co.uk. What I'm going to do before I hit the road, guys, I want to answer some more of your emails before I hit the road, because it's a big night for me tonight. I'm going to go away here and watch NXT, which is on tonight. I'm also going to be watching tomorrow. I want to watch for the very first time tomorrow, guys. I'm going to watch Lucha Underground tomorrow for the first time, and I'm going to try and review it on next week's show. I'm also going to try and catch TNA this week as well. This whole Global Force Wrestling being involved in TNA and stuff, I want to catch up on that. But I'm going to try and watch Lucha Underground for the first time. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts on Lucha Underground. Give us a wee email, outsidetheropes@yahoo.com. Go to our website and send us a message, outsidetheropesradio.com. Facebook messages, tweet us. What do you think of Lucha Underground? I keep hearing all these things about it. I'm going to go and watch it and see what it's like. Let me know what you think of it. NXT tonight. We've got Fergal Devon on NXT tonight, so I'm looking forward to seeing that there. I'm also looking forward to their big event the night before SummerSlam, so I'm looking forward to that too. But I want to go ahead and answer some of your emails before I hit the road. Thomas has sent us an email in all the way from, let's have a look. Doesn't say. Guys, stick down on your emails if you can where exactly you're from, so we can obviously give you a proper shout out. But Thomas asks us, should the WWE bring in The Rock to compete in the ring next year at WrestleMania, and who do we think that he should be fighting? Well, we're not even talking about WrestleMania just yet, Thomas, but I hear the rumours that he's fighting Triple H next year, so that's that question answered for you, Thomas. Thanks very much for your email. We want to hear from Corey, all the way from Scotland. Hey Corey, how are you? Thanks very much for your email, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Hi guys, love the show. Big tune in, download on iTunes every single week. Thank you very much for your download, Corey. I appreciate that. I will do something a bit gory today, guys. I do apologise. I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, but I'm getting there slowly but surely. That's a bit late in the day as well when we're recording this podcast, but sure. Corey wants to know our thoughts on Sting versus The Undertaker for WrestleMania. What is with all these WrestleMania questions? God damn, I haven't got to SummerSlam yet. Undertaker and Sting next year. As I said earlier on the podcast, Corey, apparently Vince doesn't want Sting Taker next year, so which I think would be silly. But yeah, is it going to happen next year? I'd love to see it happen, but unfortunately, things happen. Vince changes his mind. Writers might change his mind for him. I don't know, but there you are. There you go. Interesting question in here from Laura. Wants to know our thoughts on the push that the Divas division is now getting. Hashtag give Divas a chance. Laura, I've said this before. I think the Divas getting the push is fantastic. Love it. Charlotte being brought up. Sasha Banks. Becky Lynch. All those girls being brought up. Super. We've still got ones down at NXT who need to come up as well. These girls are really kicking ass, and they're going to be putting their name out there now, and it's going to be really good to watch over the next few months. Instead of the boring bimbos wrestling, we're going to have proper women wrestlers, the likes of Charlotte and Paige and all those girls coming in and kicking ass and making the Divas division a lot more interesting to watch. So yep, I'm looking forward to it, and I just cannot wait for the next few months. It's going to be really, really good. Please take that damn title and get rid of that butterfly crappy belt. Take it off Nikki and bring back the women's title. Yeah, that butterfly belt is ridiculous looking. Bring back the women's title. That's what I think. That's all the time I got for, guys. Thanks for your emails. Thank you very much for them. Sorry I can't answer them all. Still talk to us on Twitter at Outside the Rope. On Facebook, we do put out messages quite a bit. Once again, thank you very, very much for the fantastic response for last Sunday's pre-show. And if you're listening to us on Facebook, YouTube, or iTunes now, thank you so much for subscribing. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, support the show, share the show, let us know what your thoughts on the show is. And also for supporting the show, a big thank you. I'm off here, guys. I want to hit the road. I will see you all back here next Wednesday. Any breaking news in the world of wrestling, don't forget to check out our website, social media feeds, etc. for all the latest news and scoops in the world of wrestling. So for another week, guys, I'm your host, Matthew, as always. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys, and I will see you all back here next Wednesday for another edition of Outside the Ropes.